What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. Hope you guys are all having a great day and weekend so far. It's currently Saturday evening. It's about 5 o'clock. Today's video is actually a video suggestion that I had someone message me a couple weeks ago on Instagram. I thought it'd be a good one to talk about for all those up-and-coming real estate agents, or you guys that are looking to become a real estate agent, or maybe you're debating on if you want to or not. So hopefully this video will be able to help you guys out. I'm going to be talking about the benefits of being a real estate agent and then all the downsides of being a real estate agent. I've been an agent for about a year now. I actually just got done spending the entire day showing properties, doing walkthroughs, doing inspections with some clients and for some personal properties that we're working on to flip right now. So this entire day has been consumed of real estate agent stuff. So I figured why not do this or talk about this video after I spent about 8 hours today driving around all of Arizona showing properties to clients and doing walkthroughs. So sit back, relax, enjoy this video. If you guys do have any questions after I'm done filming, comment down below. I get back to each and every comment. I'm happy to help you guys. And as always, if you guys are interested in working with me as a real estate agent, if you guys are looking to buy or sell or invest in the Arizona area, my information is down below and I love to work with you guys on that. So let's get started with some of the upsides to being a real estate agent. A lot of you guys can probably already guess some of the upsides, like the flexibility of being an agent. You work for yourself. By far, I would say the biggest upside from my personal opinion of being a real estate agent is strictly the scalability or the potential for growth as a real estate agent or in the real estate game in general. Just because you start out as a real estate agent doesn't mean you have to stay a real estate agent. I would just say in general, like there's so much room for growth in the real estate realm, whether that be you want to flip houses, whether that be you want to be a commercial lender, a residential lender to lend out mortgages to people that are looking to buy houses. You can be a commercial real estate agent working on industrial buildings, working on multi-unit apartment buildings. There's no ceiling on being a real estate agent. Like you can build out your own team. Once you start getting enough leads, once you start getting that consistency in seller leads and buyer leads, you can start building a team underneath you that can kind of delegate. You can delegate those tasks to, and you can just scale your business that way. It doesn't just have to be you as an agent. I'm actually on a team of, I believe, 5 different agents as well, and my team lead did the same thing. He started out as just an individual agent, but as he grew his business, we started building a team out of agents where we all work together now, and now he has 5 different agents on his team where he can do 5 times the amount of business that he was doing previously. The next thing I would say is the flexibility in your schedule as a real estate agent. I know this is probably the thing you guys hear about the most as an agent is, oh, you can work whenever hours you want. It's like you don't have a 9 to 5. You can literally work on the weekends if you want to. You don't have to. You can do it part-time. There's so much flexibility as an agent. I know people that are doing it just for friends and family. I know people that are doing it just on like a couple days a week. They don't work a whole lot because to be a successful real estate agent, you have to be networking like 24/7 almost, it feels like. I get all my leads from social media, and if I wasn't like constantly posting on social media, if I had another job, it would be so difficult for me to stay up to date with all of that kind of stuff, and I'd start losing leads big time. But some people do it. Some people only do it on the weekends. They have a normal 9 to 5. Some people only work with like their family or for themselves, and then some people do it as like a full-time job where it's 7 days a week, like 10 hours a day almost, which actually leads into the next benefit, which is actually kind of a double-edged sword here. What I'm going to talk about actually has its pros and it has its negatives, and that is you work for yourself as a real estate agent. It's strictly commission-based, meaning you're not getting salary unless you're working as like a front desk receptionist or you have some sort of you work something out with like a huge brokerage where you get paid a salary, a base salary on top of your commission. But most of the time you are commission-based. The amount of money you make is strictly reflects on the amount of work you put in. So that is a huge benefit to some people that have that work ethic, but it's also a huge downside to people that don't really have that drive because you're not really having anyone push for you. You don't really like have a certain amount of hours you have to work. It all depends on how much time you're willing to put into it. And the amount of input you're putting into your work is the amount of output that you're getting, is the amount of value that you're getting out. So if you're putting in 70 hours a week, it's going to reflect on your paycheck, or at least I would hope so if you're putting that much time onto it. Or if you're doing this like kind of half-ass and it's not really your full passion, it's definitely going to reflect on your paychecks as well. So I've seen this go both ways, where it's commission-based and you're working for yourself. I've seen people crash and burn and they gave up after 6 months, and I've seen people make millions of dollars doing real estate as an agent, getting into high-end luxury real estates because they put in the hours, because they put in the time. and effort to actually make it work. The last pro to this is kind of ties into what I just said. You have to have patience at first, but once you get going, after your first year or two, I'm actually noticing this right now, and I've only been into it for just about a year now, is it's a huge snowball effect. The more word of mouth that you get, the more clients that you close on, the more seller leads that you get, the more people understand that you're a strong agent, that you're a good agent. They're going to tell their friends, they're going to tell their family, they're going to tell their neighbors. You're going to get repeat clients that bought a house 2 years ago and now they want to sell their house, or now they want to buy another house. You're going to get that snowball effect. So it does take a while to kind of build up, but once that happens, it really, really picks up. And I've talked to agents that have been in the game for 5-10 years, and that's what they always say. They're like, the first couple years it's tough, you have to have a lot of patience, but after the first couple years you start getting all these referrals from past clients, all these word of mouth clients, and from there it's basically, it just takes over. You don't even have to do any really lead generation at that point anymore, because you have so many repeat clients that it takes up and consumes all your time, which is a great thing. And that's when you can start, once you get to that point, that's when you can start outsourcing some of the work. You can get people underneath you on your team to start generating their own leads, and you can focus on your word of mouth leads, which are obviously a lot stronger. On that point, we're actually going to start talking about some of the cons or the negatives now. I'm looking at my list right here on the back of on my computer, which is behind the camera, and the cons list is a little bit bigger than the pros list, but bear with me. The biggest con, I would say, is you can spend a lot of time wasting your time, or in a sense treading water, without closing anything whatsoever. This I noticed a lot more when you're just starting out, because when you're just starting out as a real estate agent, most of the time, I would say 75 to 80% of the leads that you get are going to be buyer leads. In a market like this, it's a lot harder to be a buyer's agent rather than a listing agent, because it's just a lot more driving, a lot more time. And then you also get clients that are either difficult to work with, indecisive, which I have a couple indecisive clients right now. One of my first clients ever that I got introduced to, I've actually closed about 7 deals since when I started showing him houses to now. I've closed 7 deals in between, and this client still has not submitted an offer. So you'll start to realize, and you'll start to get clients that, at the end of the day, you start to realize, I'm never going to close with this guy. I literally just wasted hundreds of dollars in gas. I wasted my actual time, which is almost worse than wasting money, because you're wasting your own time, which you could have delegated to other clients that were more decisive or more involved in actually or wanting to purchase a house. And then it's just kind of just frustrating, because you're literally, I've showed you 30 houses and you haven't even submitted an offer yet. We haven't even submitted an offer yet. But you'll start to dwindle those away. You'll start to realize and be able to pick out the ones that you're not going to close on, and you kind of just have to kind of push those ones away when you start getting busier, and really delegate your time to those clients that are going to close, and they're going to close fast and serious about closing. You don't want to rush a client into purchasing a property, but at the same time, you really do have to realize the ones that truly aren't ready. And I spent, not only that client where I've spent 6 months showing this guy houses, and we've put in 2 offers that got absolutely destroyed. And another thing you can tell with how serious clients are is how willing they are to put in an aggressive offer. And I really never was able to convince him to do an aggressive offer. So the offers we did put in were not even close to getting accepted. That's one big thing, is a lot of the buyer leads that you get are going to be a complete waste of time. You're going to be driving around, bending over backwards for these guys, and they're never going to end up closing with you. I actually did that with one of my clients today. I drove 30 minutes north to go show this client a house, and he's like, yeah, I'm really just wanted to kind of see this house. I'm not ready to buy. The reason why I went to actually see him is because he said he wanted to sell his house as well. So I was like, all right, I'll go meet him face to face. I'll get to know him face to face. I'll get to know him personally so he can get to know me as well. And then come to find out, he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to have my neighbor list my house anyways, so I don't really need you to sell my house. And I was like, oh, it's just kind of you win some, you lose some, and you never really would have known until you actually go and meet the guy. But some of these are big wins, and some of them are big losses. So you kind of just have to dwindle those through, and you are going to spend a lot of time just treading water as a beginning agent and wasting a lot of your time in a sense. But it's all a learning experience. Another thing is there's so many up and downs as a real estate agent. Last month, in the last 3 weeks, I've closed 5 deals. They all happened within a 2-week period, which was absolutely insane. It's awesome to have weeks like that. But then you get weeks like this where I I closed the deal on Monday, but I don't have any deals closing for another 3 weeks now. So you get those gaps where you have a lot of free time in a sense in between. But if you utilize that free time to start building out like your personal brand and stuff like that, you can kind of fill in those gaps. So if you're used to a salary-based job where you know you're getting $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month consistently, being a real estate agent's a lot different because you are working for yourself. You really don't know what your next paycheck's looking like or when you're going to get your next close. And oftentimes as a beginning agent, you may not close a deal for 6 to 12 months depending on how you get your leads and stuff like that. Because there's so much flexibility, it can actually be a downside. Like you don't really know what your hours are going to be like. You can block off your own hours. You can be an agent where like, oh, I don't want to show houses on Sunday or whatever. But then you also limit the amount of potential that you can have as an agent if you start limiting your time. Like today, I didn't really know what my day was looking like until last night, and I ended up spending the first 8 hours of my day showing houses to properties or showing houses to clients and driving around. I drove an hour and a half all the way to Goodyear today, which I think is actually one of the more exciting deals that we had today was me driving out to Goodyear, so that one would have worked out. But yeah, I didn't know my schedule until last night at about 11 p.m. when I confirmed all this. So the uncertainty in hours is definitely a downside as well. Like you don't know what your weekends are going to look like unless you specifically box it out. But if you have a client that's like, hey, I want to go see this house, when can we show it? And you're like, oh, the only showing's tomorrow afternoon, and you already had something planned. It's like you got to work around. A lot of the times you got to work with your client's schedule, and that can be definitely be a big downside, especially if you're a big planner. If you like to plan stuff multiple days ahead with your friends or with your family, sometimes you're going to have to sacrifice canceling things or working with your client specifically, because these deals right now, they're going within 1 to 2 days. So you can't be like, oh, like let's go next week and look at this house. Like you have to go then, and you have to go there. You have to go within hours if you really want to get an aggressive offer across the table. So that's just kind of the market we're in right now. It is a lot different if you've been in the industry for a very long time and you have a lot of sellers. If you're a listing agent, that's generally the best case scenario for any agent, is you want to be a listing agent because it's much, much easier in the market today. You really don't even take pictures. You hire someone to go take pictures of the listing. You create a little 800 character description on the MLS. You blast it all over the internet. You put a lockbox on the property. You don't even have to go to the freaking property most of the time these days. And you literally just have all these offers come to your table, and you're like, all right, I want this offer, and that's it. You don't even have to leave your desk as a listing agent. It's a lot harder to become a listing agent, especially if you're a new real estate agent. You have to a lot of the times be a buyer's agent for the longest time until you can build up all that rapport and until you can build up a good client base to where you start selling properties. The only properties I've personally ever sold was our flips, and those are so easy, guys. I literally go put a lockbox on it, and I'm like, we have a showing this week. We have showings this weekend. I'm going to accept an offer Monday evening, so make sure you get your offers by, and we'll get 10 to 15 offers in, and I really don't even have to go to the property after that. I just have to go and take the lockbox off, and that's it. That's pretty much it, guys. If I missed anything, I can't really think of anything else. I'm kind of just talking on what's coming to my mind right now, so I hope this video was able to help you guys out. If you guys do have any questions, comment down below. As always, please drop a like, and I really do appreciate it. Tomorrow I have the open house where I have to go to. It's our Paradise Valley house, so I'm going to go to the open house for a couple hours. I have to show an out-of-state client 2 different properties as well, so that's going to take 6 hours of my day and a lot of driving. But hopefully one of these properties that I show, I'm going to do a video walkthrough with it. All of my out-of-state clients, I always do video walkthroughs, and it's good enough. Hopefully we'll be able to submit an offer on one of these and get it accepted. But there's been so many times where I show 15 properties, and we even put in aggressive offers, but they still get outbid. So it's a lot for sure as a buyer's agent. But I'll see you guys soon, and have a great rest of your weekend.